Hey there, baseball fans. Nathan Rohde and Shooter Hunt here with the latest episode of Coffee and Curveballs. Shooter, the 2020 MLB draft is wrapped up. It's time to move on to 2021, so I ran down to Lake Point for the PBR Classic.
Yeah, just put the yearbook away, turn the page. 21's firmly on the map. Draft season is theirs.
It is. It certainly is. So normally I wouldn't turn around so quickly. 10 hours after the draft event ended, I was in the car. But the PBR Classic had two elite teams, travel teams in the event, and I couldn't turn that down seeing the Canes national team as well as Team Elite. We did get to see them face off in the championship. So check out the roadshow for highlights from that. But let's highlight some of the players. On Saturday, I was locked in on the Canes to see Chase Burns. Reports of him hitting triple digits in bullpens, side sessions, things like that. So we're like, all right, is he going to hit it in a game? Is the video board at Lake Point going to go to triple digits? Let's find out. And third batter of his first inning, sure enough, a lot of oohs and ahs from the crowd as he hit 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's a durable frame of his, and obviously the arm strength is real. Colton Proby in Tennessee for us, and seeing some of these bullpens was telling us a lot about Chase Burns. We knew it was coming. I don't know if I knew 100 was going to be there, but obviously it was, and it's always exciting to see triple digits.
Yeah, it really is, and it's a pretty easy fastball. Thing that impressed me was, he hit the 100, but he sat mid-90s for all four innings. He hit 98 in all four innings, and his last two pitches were 99 and 98. So it wasn't like he hit 100 and then dropped down to sitting 92, 95. He was holding that velo pretty good for four innings. But while I was setting up for that game, getting my camera ready, I get a text message and I look at it, and it's Phil Kerber over on the other quad. And oh, by the way, Peyton Smith for Team Elite is sitting 95 to 97.
Yeah, there was a ton of big velo all over the weekend. Peyton Smith's a Vanderbilt recruit. I actually had to see him 2 years ago at the Kentucky-Tennessee border battle, and it was raining, 40 degrees all day. He was the last pitcher to throw, was up to 85. I go up to Tim K and Chris Flores, said, hey, you saved the best for last here, huh? Because the fastball was getting on the plate in a hurry. Thought he was going to throw a lot harder. He's now put on at least 10 to 12 miles an hour. But it gets on you in a hurry, a little bit sink there. The changeup's real. A good slider. Followed him for a while. Strikes out a ton of guys. Low walks, no walks. Definitely an arm. And obviously very good one going to Vanderbilt.
Indeed. Looking forward to seeing him throughout this summer. But a bunch of hitters stood out this weekend as well. I tell you what, Shooter, arrow up on Alex Mooney, shortstop from Michigan. It was loud contact all weekend. He punished the baseball in every game that I saw. Showed off some speed. He had a little tapper in the infield that he got a slight head start on. He was 4-0 down the line, but then later on a full swing, he's 4-2 down the line. So he's definitely an above-average runner and just a good-looking athlete.
Yeah, he's a Duke recruit. I'm going to do a little bit of a dive in on him with some of the TrackMan data that we have, but really hits the ball hard. Aaron Wilson up in Michigan's been talking about Alex Mooney since he came to the Future Games as a double underclassman. He's only just entering high school where he first showed off there. But blue-collar kid, works real hard, ball comes off the bat. That's a really talented infield that the Canes have going there. Some really high upside prospects. Mooney really did a great job of standing out. I loved watching his at-bats all weekend.
Yeah, certainly so. Speaking of hitting the ball hard, Brady House had a huge weekend for Team Elite. A couple doubles, couple home runs. It seemed like anytime that he was up, he was going to do some damage.
Yeah, and I mean, given to watch on Play Site where we could watch all the at-bats over and over. The last 2 weekends, not just this weekend where you got to see him, he's produced nonstop for 2 weeks now, really jumps on the ball early on in counts. It obviously flies off his bat with big power. I think he's firmly put himself in that first round consideration, and not just consideration, early consideration, looking at top 10 potential. But Brady House, obviously an athlete. I think, Rody, you said that his frame looks even leaner now and even more athletic than he was.
Yeah, indeed. So certainly expecting him to impact the ball throughout the summer. So definitely hope I get a chance to see him again, hopefully soon too. But going up to your neck of the woods, the Canes picked up a couple extra exhibition games. They had a ton of arms on their roster, and they wanted to get those guys in, so they picked up extra games. One of those extra ones, we saw Max DeBeck, who's just really long and projectable, basketball star as well, so really athletic guy. that fastball is lively. And while the breaking ball was inconsistent to start, he did show feel for it by the end of his outing. And, oh, man, it could be a dirty pitch down the line.
Yeah, and that's something I talked about in those Trackman Confidential piece where he has the aptitude for spin. Now, this is his first game experience or game play probably since underclass area codes in August of last year. So almost a full year without game action. And for him to come out up to 95, that big velo's going to be there. Just watching it from the center field camera angles, it was tough for the catcher to even catch. A lot of heavy movement to it. But the upside's there. He's a big basketball player, a lot of athleticism, aptitude. I mean, it's a good recipe for a lot of success looking towards the draft next year.
Indeed. And then back on Team Elite, we've got Kenny Mallory. Loose, athletic, projectable frame. He had a home run and a double in one game for himself. He's another guy that at the plate, once he starts to fill out, we're going to start seeing a lot more loud contact from him.
Yeah, and that frame oozes potential. He's another Vanderbilt recruit. He's down in Georgia. He gets so many at-bats. It's easy to get out there and evaluate a guy like that. And he steadily made those climbs to now where I was watching again this weekend and saying to myself, this kid's made those jumps. And he's done a great job over the last year of taking his body to that next level. And, I mean, all these guys we're talking about right here, MLB draft prospects, but Mallory's definitely in there with the potential to stick up the middle and center field.
And then back to the Canes, there was one guy that you texted me about. Looks like we're going to have a really good year in the Midwest. We talked about Mooney from Michigan. We've got Chase Burns from Tennessee. Got some talent coming out of Kentucky, and it's Dalen Lyle. Left-handed hitter. It's super balanced at the plate. And again, just like Mooney and other guys on the Canes, every time it came up, it sounded like thunder off the bat.
Yeah, look at you moving Tennessee into the Midwest. So good for you.
Close enough.
Profile. Yeah, Lyle out of Kentucky, huge fan, Louisville recruit. Just his ability to slow the game down. These guys are getting really early at bats. These are spring training at bats, essentially against some big time arms. But he's slowing the game down. The bat speed's real. Ball jumps off. Good athlete. But again, his ability to track, especially right now, is exceptional.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I'll have you know that half of Tennessee is in the central time zone, so it's close enough. But, Shooter, we've got baseball again on the field, in person, game action. So that means the return of PBR Bomb Squad.
And off the top, how can you not start with Brady House unloading on some balls? This one over the scoreboard left field, courtesy of Phil Kerber, PBR.
Excellent. And then on the Canes, you had Cody Schreier. After a lightning delay, they erupted for 9 runs. To a mercy rule. Cody Schreier goes off the light pole in left field, and then Renee Lastris, a few batters later, walks it off.
Okay, and then Kenny Mallory, we just talked about him, Vanderbilt recruit, showing that power potential, going deep.
Excellent. And just so we're not biased, showing all offense, spin wins, Shooter, and the PBR spin zone is back as well.
Oh, man, Colt Evil Sizer. I tweeted this one out. Hammer time. You can see the soul leaving the batter's body.
He definitely buckled his knees on that one. But then wrapping it up, DeBeck, like we said, it was inconsistent, but he found it at the end there. Nice little whammer. And then Gage Jump, lefty from California, sitting 90-94, and then whoop, spinning that one in there. So definitely some good stuff in the PBR spin zone this year. Looking forward to more. As always, for Shooter Hunt, I'm Nathan Rohde. This was Coffee and Curveballs, and until next time, we'll see you guys at the ballpark.